What's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's a Monday. It's Rumor and Innuendo. And I am here with the corporate, Robert Karplus, W Creative _ish. Hey, Robert, we have no chance in hell. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's good to join everybody here for what an exciting edition of Rumor and Innuendo this is today. In order to fully encapsulate Full Gear, we're going to go 9 hours.
9 whole hours. Yes.
9 hours of just nonstop Full Gear coverage. But first, we're going to say hi to the fine. But why is it doing that gimmick again where it's just showing me screen names and not names?
It's did that this whole weekend when I
don't love it.
Don't like it.
Not a fan. I'm going to assume it's E because someone's saying "Was up."
Yes, that's the
Cammy Star says, "Happy War Games week, dude." It is War Games this weekend. It's Thanksgiving. It's Full Gear recap. The Continental Classic and all of its math is starting.
yes.
We still got the John Cena Time Is Now tournament. There is so much stuff going on, man.
It's crazy.
Now we're going to fit it all in. What about turkey?
And turkey's happening as well.
Yes, I've got lots of Thanksgiving festivities going on here. Very excited about that. Dre Owens is very excited. He says, "Hello, R&I. Full Gear was a full night. Geez, TK doesn't need 20 hours for a pay-per-view. That said, it was a fun show." We'll get into it. Wrestling Old Head says, "Happy Monday, R&I. Full Gear was a bloody good time, eh?"
Oh, bloody good. It was bloody, that's for sure.
Dre Owen says, "I read that in William Regal's voice." The War Games. Yes. Anytime you see War Games, Tony Gong says people are still in Jersey waiting for the bus home. That's just big boom, AJ.
Boom. Boy, what a way to start that show off too, was all those preliminary matches. I don't know, Robert. What did you think of the preliminary show? We'll touch upon that just real quick.
So the only thing look, the pre-show, yet I can't believe we guessed Workhorseman properly.
You're right.
Like, I said it in the most sarcastically obnoxious, like, they're not really going to do that to everybody, are they? And you know what they did? They gave you the Workhorseman. Squashed them quickly. No surprises on the show. In terms of a debut or a major return until the very end of the entire program. So considering both the Casino Gauntlet, I was going to call it Battle Royal. It's not really a Battle Royal. The Casino Gauntlet, not Royal Rumble, and the mystery tag team match. No big, like, oh my God, here comes, the return of Private Party, even though I saw one of the guys from Private Party were apparently were backstage.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Well, this is why I follow what's going on with the world of wrestling and not you, Dom. It was the $250,000 four-way tag team match was a further reminder of, like, why are we not doing anything with these guys?
Yep.
And sometimes, you do have to listen to your audience. The audience does not want to see the Acclaimed feuding. There are some tag teams, it just doesn't work. We saw that a lot with Matt and Jeff Hardy. We don't want to see them as opposites. We want to see them together. We saw it with the Dudley Boys. We saw it with the New Age Outlaws, your former co-host, Road Dogg. People like to see them together. Just give it to them. You're not going to make money headlining a pay-per-view with Max Caster versus Anthony Bowens. However, a reunited Acclaimed going up against the AEW Tag Team Champions, that has a pretty good shot at being a significant semi-main someplace.
Absolutely. And you could put that out on a big platform like a pay-per-view if you want, not as a main event, but one of the higher up matches on the card, or a Dynamite main event.
It could be a pay-per-view main event. You never know. You position something enough. The Acclaimed at one point were the hottest act in wrestling. No reason to think they can't ultimately wind up being in a main event spot on a pay-per-view. The other thing that the AEW did, they got cutesy for a second time in a row, which was your tailgate party main event bleeding into the start of your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't watch it live, so I don't know if this was the case, but if you were watching it on YouTube or Max or whatever it is, did you at least get to see the finish of the match, or did it cut off as soon as the pay-per-view started?
I don't know either, Robert, because I didn't watch it live in time either. So I'm very curious about
Because
that.
if that's the case, like if you're delivering something to your audience and not paying it off, that is a problem. If you're getting people to tune in for your pre-show and they're like, "Oh, I want to see this pre-show main event," and then you don't get to see the finish, you're not going to get more people tuning into the next pre-show. It worked the first go round; it was a cool trick. Wouldn't do it a second time. They did it a second time. Let's hope that that's it. But they did further the Okada Takeshita not getting along situation. Just shocked that they would pin a major superstar like Hechicero.
How dare they? Dre Owens did make note that they did cut off. It did cut off.
It's not a smart idea on their part.
Jeepers, jeepers. Well, and Robert, there's other ways you can do that. Like, I mean, bleed into your pay per view. I mean, instead of having the match bleed over, have like somebody get attacked backstage that furthers like a storyline, and then you go, "We're heading to the pay per view. Catch us now and see what happens."
It's more of what the purpose of that pre-show really is, because it was sort of like a collision substitute in a lot of ways. But the idea is, all right, maybe I'm not necessarily going to watch this pay-per-view, but I'm going to at least tune in to see this pre-show because I want to see whatever the pre-show main event match is, and maybe I get hooked with it, and then decide I'm going to order the pay-per-view. But don't tease a free match and then not give you the finish.
Right.
That's where it becomes a little like I could see someone just being annoyed and just being like, you know what, F this situation.
Yeah, I got bamboozled. Robert, let's get to the show itself. Opening match. It was Pac, and he defeated Darby Allin by pinfall. And what was a pretty darn good opener from what it seemed to. Robert, did you like this opener as a match? And it made sense. Pac wins.
I liked most of this match. I liked the story that Pac did not need weapons or outside interference or any of that hardcore stuff to dominate Darby throughout the match. That it was just what happens within the confines of a squared circle was the most dangerous thing that can happen from one individual to another. So when they're taking things like suplexes to the outside, or he's going after an injured arm because he suffered burns, whatever it was, it made Pac feel genuinely dangerous in a way that he had not felt before. And then in the finish, it was, hey, here comes Wheeler Yuta, and there's a bat and whatever. And Darby loses.
Mm-hmm.
The big headline here kind of across the board is everything is so inconsequential in AEW that, all right, match was excellent, really, really good, but who cares? Darby is going to now go back and try to get further revenge to get to another gimmick match. Like it's make me care about the next step.
Absolutely.
And I think that the match was very good. I just don't know that I necessarily care enough about the next step other than, oh, good, it's Darby continuing to feud with the Death Riders.
Right. And I think it's the albatross is the Death Riders aspect of it all. And like, what is next for that? Obviously, we'll talk about the match later on with Moxley, but like treading water, continues to tread water. But good match. I like Pac would win. Second match on the card, we had that fatal 4-way tag team women's match. Instead of any of the heels winning, though, you predicted, I believe, Sky Blue and Julia Hart, it was Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa getting the win here, Robert.
I thought it made the most sense for the heels to win because, as I said, when you're the babyface and you're making the stipulation and you win because it's your stipulation, it's kind of a lesser win.
Right.
It's like you challenging me to a stacking apples contest, since I know you crush that.
Yes.
That would not be fair.
You'd beat me in a lawyer match.
That being said, totally fine match. Would have been just as good on Dynamite as on the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Fine match.
Yep. Hey, you predicted this one, right? FTR. They are your new AEW World Tag Team Champions as they defeated Bandito and Brody King. Bandito was the one to take the pinfall here. He was the one who got a lot of the offense laid on him by FTR. And we got some new World Tag Champs in FTR, Robert. Good move, right?
And from their trajectory of what they were trying to do, yes, this was the next logical step, especially based on other things we had predicted that happened later. But that crowd was so into Brodito.
Mm-hmm.
I would have possibly, like, Tony gotten in the ear of the referee and call an audible.
Really?
Because that crowd was, I mean, no pun intended, like, they were all in on Brodito. And it's like, do we really want to lose this momentum? I felt like the idea was we were trying to get to FTR versus a babyface Young Bucks team.
Sure.
as your next big storyline for the tag titles. And this now does theoretically free up Brody King and Bandito to enter the Continental Classic, which I'm all in favor of. I think those guys can have some really killer matches. But the way that crowd was behaving there, I could see an argument where you could have called an audible.
Would you have been that reactionary though, considering, what's next for FTR after that if they lose?
That's the problem. They were in the situation of, it's like, if they lose, what next?
Uh-huh.
Um, you can always try to find something. FTR's angry. They're in the back. They're walking. They bump into Jurassic Express, or they attack. What's the Guns, who won
No,
the
yeah, Bang Bang Gang.
Bang Bang Gang. Thank you. Could not think of that word. Yes. And now they're going after those guys, and now they're challenging them, and it's, you put your $200,000 on the line and your number one contendership and whatever.
Yep. Hey, you predicted
Hey,
this one too, Robert. Ricochet. He wins the Casino Gauntlet to become the inaugural national champion. Like you said earlier, Robert, no surprises in this. Right move, I think, for Ricochet, but this national title doesn't seem it has any significance or what it
yeah. I
difference.
mean, I can't for the life of me tell you why this title exists.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of the match, I really can't tell you why this title necessarily exists. That being said, right person went over. Match was a very fun Casino Gauntlet match. You had a lot of intermixed storylines. You had this notion that people really wanted to see Lashley and Shelton go at it. They were having fun. Ricochet felt very kind of Flair Rumble 92, and I'm going to keep getting my ass kicked and eventually somehow pull out the win. It was fine. The complete lack of any surprises in this, little shocking. I think I had suggested maybe having Mike Mondo pop up in this sucker.
Yes,
Could
you
have been
did.
kind of funny. Yeah.
That
But
was neat.
right guy went over, celebrated like he won the Super Bowl, and that's the only thing of note for Ricochet all weekend.
That's it, Robert. Nothing else.
Because yes,
Let's touch upon that real quick. Let's do it. Yeah. So Will Ospreay resurfaced on X to comment on the Twitter account dudes posting their W's, and it was a bunch of kids roughhousing, doing very athletic things from the modern pro wrestling era in the living room, outside, everything like that. Wasn't a good look, I don't think, but Ospreay celebrated it. And then obviously Cornette had his comment. Jim Cornette, if you're not familiar with that guy, he happened to say some things. And then Ricochet fired back. Hey, didn't all the old timers, aren't they have elbow or knee issues and all the surgeries and everything like that? And Cornette fired back, calling Ricochet a simpleton, saying that they did it for money. These kids are doing it for free and setting it up for a bad career for themselves or whatever. So very action packed on social media was Ricochet this weekend as well. What do you think of those comments, Robert? That exchange?
Fighting with Cornette doesn't help anybody. It doesn't make anybody in AEW look bigger or better, especially on the weekend where you've won your national title. Let that be your story. Just ignore the rest of it. Unless you really want to give Cornette extra clicks, in which case, good on you.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this is his bread and butter is criticizing AEW so much, and so if you play into the wheelhouse, he's gonna get some more listens for sure on that one. So but I can't speak against calling out Cornette because I've done the same. All right, up next we have Kyle O'Reilly. He gets another win against Jon Moxley by submission, Robert. A fork was quite the factor in this match, and we had a lot of blood, and Moxley taps out. And yes, but what is going on here? What's next?
Little of the old Mo Sislak fork in the eye booking. So I'm trying to figure this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you say uh-oh?
Well, I just know your affection for Kyle O'Reilly, so I'm curious where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this. So Kyle O'Reilly is the one who now has gotten essentially the victory over Moxley that's going to like push him over the edge and send him going cuckoo banana pants crazy.
Yeah.
Sure. Great. Is that the guy who was the best person positioned for it? Absolutely not. I think I would have probably used in that same exact role. You could have put Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy could have gotten that win and then used that to elevate Orange Cassidy. Nobody's elevating Kyle O'Reilly to a legitimate main eventer. So if you're going to use that spot, use it to push somebody new, use it to push somebody different, revitalize someone that they think that they need to actually put some momentum behind. Heck, should have been Darby.
Well, I guess I could push back and say, like, Darby's already elevated. Orange Cassidy's already elevated.
Darby feels like he's slid down since he's come off the mountain.
A little bit, but I think he's somebody that can easily be heated back up because of the cachet that he's built up over the course of the years in AEW. Kyle O'Reilly is somebody that you did bring in that, whether you like him or not, he was underutilized starting off for quite a while. And granted, I'm totally with you, is like he's put in this position where it's out of nowhere and it makes zero sense. But like you're getting somebody else to another level where, you have a Darby already there. You have an Orange Cassidy there. So I kind of do understand the aspect of if you're going to heat somebody up, put him in that position.
So here's where it's going to be a little time jumpy, and that's okay. Like Wrestling Old Head says, I don't think these wins were for a main event push for Kyle O'Reilly. I think it was to facilitate a Moxley face turn. It can do two things. Mm-hmm. If this would have been, for let's play devil's advocate, if this were Darby or this were Orange Cassidy, and one of those guys now definitively got the submission win over Moxley, once and for all, Moxley is dead and gone and buried and whatever, that guy seems like your new number one contender for your AEW world title. Mm-hmm. And then you could still have delayed an extra month or two before what we saw happen in the finish of the main event of the show. In this instance, I don't think anybody's clamoring for Kyle O'Reilly to be the new number one contender for the AEW world title. He's someone you can feed to your world champion, but no one's going to even buy that they're really going to go with Kyle. So whereas I could see them buying, oh, maybe they're going to put it on Darby, maybe they're going to put it on Orange Cassidy. That's all. Match itself was very solid. Anyone who watches knows exactly what I'm going to say next, which is there was a lot of blood on this show, and I don't mind blood. Just it's fine. It works from a narrative standpoint. Your good friend, Tony Marie Khan, yes, on the Ariel Helwani show had said, violence for violence sake, we're not going to do it when it makes sense. You had at least 4 matches, I think, that had blood on this show.
Yeah.
And then so you lose the impact of it. It's like you have this hardcore match. They just used a fork and a chain and using it in submission holds. And it really felt like, oh man, what's going to happen here? This is vicious. And then you immediately followed it up with a Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe match. You went back-to-back blood Kyle matches.
Yes, bloody Kyle matches. What the heck? Yeah, let's talk about that next match. Kyle Fletcher, he loses the TNT Championship against Mark Briscoe. So Mark Briscoe is not a part of the Don Callis family, and Kyle Fletcher is no longer TNT champion.
Right. It wasn't Kyle, it was Kyle.
Yes.
When we predicted it, we kind of said, I thought the idea was that they were going to keep the title on Kyle Fletcher because if he just became another guy in the Continental Classic, you would lose the momentum that he's built. But good news, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
He's now just another guy in the Continental Classic who doesn't get along with the other members of the Don Callis family who are in the Continental Classic.
Yes.
I'm all for a bunch of different, great matches involving Kyle Fletcher in the tournament. But I would have much rather just seen him be TNT champion and continue to just have great singles matches. Could have put him up against Brody King on like the next show. But the way that Mark Briscoe was positioned in that video package beforehand, I went one of two ways. Either he 100% has to win because it's like, I don't have my brother, or he loses and then Don Callis just being like, I'm your new brother. Oh, and then it's the real like, oh man, I want to see this guy get his teeth punched down his throat.
Yeah, you make a compelling case for like that could be very intriguing. Obviously a polarizing storyline, but very, very intriguing. But I think I'm ultimately Kyle Fletcher, Yeah, it's a step back for him for sure, no doubt about it. But I guess it is nice to see Mark Briscoe with the TNT
It
Championship.
is what may be a little sad, is the way that they position this, the way you had that feel good moment. I don't think they're going to put the world title on Mark Briscoe. This felt like that moment for him. Singles push, big match, big epic win, dedicating it to his brother, having that emotional catharsis. To do it again will feel a little lesser than. But the match itself was excellent. I just wish it hadn't immediately come after a hardcore match with blood.
Right, right. It just slowly deteriorates what you're doing and positioning people on the card and making things feel significant when you got so much blood, and that's even speaks for AEW. I mean, it's just not a good formula to have. Match 7. It was the Young Bucks teaming with Josh Alexander. They defeated Jack Perry, Luchasaurus, and Kenny Omega to win $1 million, Robert. But the big takeaway from this match is the Young Bucks, they decided to align with Kenny Omega and make the save. And so the Elite are back together, it seems. And the Don Callis family are without the Young Bucks.
Could care less. The match was fine. Again, you had just seen 2 back-to-back wars, and then you go to the 6-man. This is like, there's always that match on the pay-per-view. You're like, how is the show still going on? 100% hitting this one, where it's like I think part of it is no one believes the $1 million stipulation or cares about it.
Right.
It's not of a material nature. It's not something tangible, even within the world of professional wrestling where it matters. We've seen a lot of these money matches. We've still not been given a reason why the Young Bucks were hesitant to do what they've been doing, since they've been dastardly heels this whole time and have never had any kind of babyface turn otherwise. And now they're all aligned together with the Jurassic Express and Kenny to go into what, Blood and Guts as a united team.
Right. Right. No, Robert, the money stipulation is a lot like what we are just talking about with blood. You have it all the time. It doesn't feel as significant, and you don't really believe it. It's just $1 million, a lot of money, and yeah. So I don't know. Are you intrigued though by any aspect of the Elite battling the Don Callis family, or does that not uh, tickle your fancy?
No fancies have been tickled.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Chris Statlander, she's retains your AEW Women's World Championship against Mo Money, Mo Belts, Monet. She doesn't have the AEW World Championship still, Robert. You couldn't. This is another match where it's like you put two people in a bad position, I think. And Monet, again, I mean, you could make a story out of it, but is it really that intriguing that she can't win the AEW World Championship and she has all these other pointless titles?
I think to some extent, yes. With now the idea is that all of these belts that she's pretending to care about, she doesn't care about, because all she wants to do is win the only title she can't seem to win. So we'll see where she goes from there. It was a good win for Statlander. It was a very good match, but it's a very good match that was like 4 hours into the main show.
Yeah.
And you really started to feel the weight of how long this entire broadcast was. The WWE PLEs are like 2.5 hours with a lot of padding, a lot of commercials, a lot of video packages. This is just, it's like the all killer, no filler situation. But that audience is tired. And to ask them to say, hey, you watched a match where a dude stabbed another dude repeatedly with a fork. And then you had a match where they were like, thumbtacks and ladders and all kinds of other crazy nonsense. And now we're going to give you a technically proficient women's match after a 6-man match involving a dinosaur. I can understand why the audience may feel a little fatigued.
Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, we'll have to see how this all plays out. It just Mercedes Moné, she's been there 2.5 years now, and she's still not your champion. I think it just speaks to Tony Khan not putting your stars in the right position, like ultimately.
Well, a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be the main event.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't, for reasons that we ultimately got revealed in a world title match. Hangman Adam Page defending against Samoa Joe.
Yep.
We had said there was a possibility that they were going to pull the trigger and put the title on Joe, which is
Yeah.
something that they did last December or 2 December, whenever they took it off of him, put it on. He was MJF was champion. They put it on Joe. It may have been 2 years ago, World's End. Um, Joe is a good champion
Hmm.
for the company. He has a lot of credibility. This match felt a lot lesser than because of everything else we saw in this broadcast.
Yeah, and again, this is another match that had blood involved with it. Joe was bleeding like crazy. But ultimately, yeah, Hook shows up and costs Hangman Page the title and joins the Ops. There's an Ops dojo as well, and then we get the return of Swerve, who is jacked. He's very big right now, and makes the save. So I like the move though. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to put the title on Joe, but they did, and I'm kind of happy about it because what you just said, like Joe makes a great champion, and I think that adds to the lineage of your AEW World Title when you have him be a multi-time champion instead of just the singles run he had.
Wrestling Overhead has a comment here. It says, I'm starting to think Tony Khan has a problem booking a good guy world champion. Not saying it's easy. It absolutely is easy when you've created a rogues gallery. When there are so many, it's the Batman philosophy, where
Yep.
you have so many people coming after your world champion. And it is much like the DiCaprio movie. It's one battle after another. You're defending, you're defending, you're defending. You're fighting back worthy challengers over and over and over again, that by the time that you do ultimately fall, it's because of just the sheer weight and totality of what you've been dealing with. Hangman really has not had that of late. And him losing here in this steel cage match with Hobbs, with Shibata, and then with the Hook turn, it's like, okay, now we're getting a Hangman and Hook. Glad they're doing something with Hook. Obviously, the hope is this was the master plan all along, in which case, cool. But then you're immediately like, oh, good, here's Swerve. So now we've moved on from Hangman to Swerve and Joe.
Hmm.
So it's not Hangman getting an immediate rematch as we're entering the Continental Classic. So
Right.
Hangman Page is probably going to kind of slide back a little bit in terms of importance, unless he falls in with Kenny and the Bucks and all those other guys, and we're now reuniting the Elite.
Yeah,
Which,
I
who
mean,
cares?
if you do that, it's kind of puts you in a hairy situation because, yeah, if you're having Hangman feud with Hook and he's still feuding with the Ops, but then he's probably if he aligns with the Elite, then he's feuding with the Don Callis family. It's just a tangled web they weave, Robert.
Well, the best way that I can sort of describe this is there's a song by Paul Simon.
Oh yes.
It was called "So Beautiful, So What."
Hmm.
This was a show with a lot of really great wrestling matches, but at the end of the day, the totality of it did not add up from the sum of its parts. It was a lot of spectacular in-ring action, yet I did not see anybody really talking about this show the next day.
To be honest, too, Robert, I didn't see a whole lot of buzz online about the show too. I know you had college football and everything, and there's a lot of other things going on. But I mean, like, if I'm on wrestling Twitter, I didn't see a whole lot about it really. Like as much as I typically would see with AEW or WWE when they have a big show.
I don't know, but we do have a WWE big show tonight. We've got 2 minutes left with which to talk about it, but very briefly, I'm going to pull up your
Yes,
notes here on what we got. There's a lot announced for tonight. Gunther Carmelo Hayes, that'll be a nice little, again, underdog guy trying to get the win. Gunther chokes him out. Solo Sikoa and Penta. I guess we're building to a Gunther Penta match, which is
I
fine.
guess. Yeah,
Men's War Games advantage match. So some situation in which the heels are going to win. Roman is opening the show. So factor in about a 9 to 12 minute entrance. And then Brock's supposed to be there and promos from Dominic Mysterio and Becky Lynch.
should be an interesting go home show. I've always liked Survivor Series, The Element, being Thanksgiving and all that stuff. So,
It'll be fun. There's no turkey gravy match, sadly. So
damn it.
we don't have that. But what we do have
Mm.
is Rumor and Innuendo, which is with you generally every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern. This week, because of Thanksgiving, Dom and I are going to be spending time with our families. So we will have a slightly truncated schedule this week. We will absolutely be back tomorrow, though.
Yes, we
As
will.
we usually are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the at SE Scoops X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and podcast heat. It was another good one. So on behalf of the man who's in his full gear, Mr. Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Hey, hop on the bus, Gus. No need to discuss much.
Shh.